Hi there. Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast with me, Russell Davis. This week, we're looking at the subject of addiction. And I don't just mean addiction to drugs or alcohol. We all have forms of addiction, whether it's social media, our phone, sugar, or mental addiction, addiction to thinking, overthinking, addiction to worry. It's all the same psychology behind it. So I want to unpack that a little bit, maybe help you look at the three keys behind addiction, whether it's mental or physical, and maybe that can serve you to help maybe take some control back into some of your behaviours that don't serve you or honour you. Let's dive in and see what the three keys are behind addiction. I've been thinking about my own relationship with addiction. Now, I haven't had addiction to substances like alcohol or drugs, but I very much have a lot of my clients, a mental addiction. I can be addicted to my thinking. I very much used to be addicted to my worrying, very much a worrier. Been addicted to sugar, like most people, chocolate, my phone. It's a lot of different forms of addiction. And I think the psychology underneath them is the same or very, very similar. There's very much some themes and principles, I think, are true for whatever this substance or behaviour, even if the behaviour is worry, we're addicted to. I want to share what I see often as the three keys to addiction, and I think it's relevant whatever someone might be addicted to, including their phone or worrying, or even sugar. Very common addictions, as well as other substances like alcohol or even drugs. And this might be a bit of a visual thing. I'm going to do it auditory, but hopefully it's simple enough to create a mental picture. It's just a triangle. There's three keys and there's 3 points of the triangle. And one of them is, I'm saying obvious, but it's abstinence. I remember, a number of years ago, I got colleagues that specialise in addiction, and one of them was offering a 90 days kind of an abstinence kind of program. And I participated in that just to kick a habit of sugar. And it was really interesting when committing to that 90 days, and he was really helping us see that you're going to fail, you probably fail within that 90 days, but that's okay. If you fail, you just recommit. And it's in that committing, you learn something about your relationship with that substance or that behaviour. And I've really seen that often my unhelpful behaviours, whether it is the phone or, social media or even sugar, when I'm having that period of abstinence, or it brings more conscious awareness to that relationship, because obviously addiction is a very unconscious process. When I first learned, when I was training as a hypnotherapist, they talk about, smoking addiction, and often a smoker will have their first cigarette in the day. It's completely unconscious. They may, get out of bed, go to the kitchen, flip the kettle on, grab their cigarettes and have a cigarette while the kettle's boiling, and if you get them to put their cigarettes somewhere where they don't normally put them, it's called a pattern interrupt. They can't unconsciously reach out for their cigarettes because they reach out for them and they're not there, and it's almost like a pattern interrupt. They wake up from their trance and they can make more of a conscious choice whether they want to have their cigarette or not. And I think this period of abstinence or commitment to abstinence does that. It brings more conscious awareness to our relationship with that behaviour. And often I can sense that it was a numbing. It was a way of feeling more comfortable. So worrying about something made me feel more comfortable that I thought I was doing something useful about a situation I was worried about. Of course, it wasn't really. Or maybe sugar just give me a kick, gave me a feel good factor when I felt a bit of dis-ease within me, or an uncomfortable feeling, maybe some sadness or something else, disappointment. So I could see that these behaviours were masking a feeling that felt uncomfortable. And it's been more conscious awareness to that. And it's that uncomfortable feeling, I think it's a creative energy. I know when I am in a period of abstinence and more conscious aware of these behaviours, I'm more creative, I'm more effective in what I do, in creating content or creating clients, whatever it may be. I just have more of a creative tendency because it's that tension. That tension is creative tension. And I did a episode recently on creative tension. You can listen back to that. So abstinence gives a more conscious awareness. It doesn't matter if we don't do the 90 days, whatever period it is you're committing to. It's just what shows up in our awareness and our commitment that makes the difference. So that's one, corners of the triangle, abstinence. The other one is embodiment. And these all fit together like three legs of a milking stool. They all impact each other. Because another one, embodiment, the other two, I think, help with abstinence. The other two help create a feeling of ease within us, less dis-ease within us. So the other is embodiment. And what I mean by that is being present, being connected to our body. Our body is in the here and now. For me, being embodied is just being consciously aware of this moment, being fully present and fully alive to this moment. And when you're doing breath work or yogic work, it's embodiment work because you'll bring your conscious awareness back to your body. And your body is in the here and now. So being embodied means being more present and alive to my true self, my whole self in this moment. To me, that's really powerful practice. And I do that with this breath work or some yogic work. Even my running is a form of embodiment. When I go for a run, I come back, I'm just so much more calm and grounded. For me, embodiment work grounds us to this earth. It grounds us to a sense of stability, rooted. That gives it emotional resilience and stability. It feels like you're being rooted into the earth. So the second kind of corner of the triangle or leg of the milking stool is embodiment, being present, being fully present. And practices can help you do that. And the third one is connection. What I mean by that is connection to ourself, connection to others, connection to the world. And I think embodiment and connection must go hand in hand. And when you're embodied, you're more present. And when you're more present, you can create more connection. But what I mean by connection is constantly creating connection. And there's times I want to disconnect. There's a little boy in me that feels vulnerable when I create kind of maybe intimate connection. Intimate doesn't necessarily mean sexual. It's just a vulnerability and sharing of myself, my heart, keeping my heart open. So it's being aware of that and looking for ways of consciously creating more connection in my life. Connection with my wife, connection with friends, family, people I love, connection with nature, connection with myself. So for me, like a meditation is a way of connecting to myself, sitting with my true self, connecting to the energy of life. For me, that gives a sense of aliveness and possibility. So for me, embodiment grounds me. I feel like my roots going into the earth, and a connection feels more an energy out the top of my head and just into the world, and a connection to life feels enlivening. And I think both those work well together, I mean, hand in hand. So connection to ourself, our true self, our passions, our heart. Our heart, actually, is an easy way of saying this. Yeah, connection to our heart. Our heart. Yeah, should have said that at the beginning. Our heart's desires, who we are, what we want to do. Connection to others, a heartfelt connection to others, and a presence and a heartfelt connection to life. So for me, they're the three kind of corners, and I think they work hand in hand. The more we feel connected, it's easy for abstinence. The more we feel embodied, the easier it is to have abstinence. The more we have abstinence, we can see the things that stop us being more connected and being more embodied. And that tension, holding that tension, I think the other side, that tension is an amazing sense of connection. And if I was to put something in the middle of that triangle, would be that kind of word, those words, creative tension. And I think these keys, abstinence, embodiment, and connection, enable us to hold that tension in our life with more power, hold the pose where from a yogic kind of perspective. And in that tension becomes creative energy. Holding that tension within being embodied, being grounded, and being connected to our heart's desire, we have capacity to have more insights, clarity, and just making a sense of what the next step is in whatever we're working on in our lives, whatever that tension is related to. Clarity can come, insights can come. We can make the choices that honour our true self and move us forward in the direction we want in our life, rather than often the addictive behaviour is to collapse that tension. It wants to collapse that tension. So whatever the kind of addictive behaviour is, I want to look at where can you explore abstinence if you're going to choose a period of abstinence, commitment to yourself, to bring more conscious awareness to the behaviour. What is it masking? What's behind it? I think that's really, really powerful. How can you be more embodied? What can you do to have more embodiment in your life? Whether it is exercise, walking, yoga, breath work, bring your true sense to yourself, to your body in this moment. Get out your head into your body. It makes so much difference. And connection, heart connection. How can you create more heart connection in your days? Connection to yourself, honouring your heart's desires, recognising and honouring those. Connection to others, connection to life. So I encourage you to explore those. And when it comes to the tension, creative tension, there's something you want to create in your life, there's going to be tension when there's a gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Can you hold the pose? And maybe the connection, embodiment, and abstinence helps you to be in that tension. Await the wisdom from within you and knows what the next step is in that tension to move you forward. Because the other side of that connection, when you make the choices, that's where the magic lies. That's where the magic lies. I hope that helps you reach out. You know, if you're struggling with any form kind of addiction, even mental addiction, my wish is that people are free from that and have a sense of peace and clarity in their lives, day by day. Loving you.